A life filled with simple, supported, and sweet everyday moments can feel ordinary, until you imagine it without them. That quiet reflection set the tone for what began as a routine live interview but quickly turned into something far more unsettling. Under the glare of studio lights, Meghan Markle appeared composed and in control, sitting upright with practiced poise, her voice steady and her answers polished yet thoughtful. Every movement suggested preparation, a deliberate effort to project calm authority and maintain control over her narrative. For a while, it worked seamlessly. She smiled at the right moments, nodded on cue, and delivered responses that felt measured and carefully refined. But beneath that controlled surface, subtle signs of tension began to emerge. Pauses that lingered just a second too long, a brief tightening of her jaw, and hands pressed together with slightly more force than necessary. At first, these details went largely unnoticed, as live television often masks discomfort with professionalism. Yet the atmosphere in the room began to shift. The rhythm of the conversation slowed, and the host's tone became more precise, calm in a way that felt intentional rather than casual. What had started as a predictable, promotional-style interview gradually transformed into something more probing and deliberate. Then came the question, delivered gently, almost disarmingly, yet carrying a weight that altered the entire dynamic. It didn't center on achievements or future projects, but instead addressed the gap between Meghan's public image and the growing perception of her private life. The host carefully referenced claims of chaos behind the scenes and asked how she reconciled that with the composure she consistently projected. A follow-up deepened the tension, touching on her marriage and the suggestion that she may have influenced or guided her husband's decisions. Nothing about the phrasing was overtly confrontational, yet its implications were impossible to ignore. In that instant, the room seemed to lose oxygen. Meghan did not answer immediately. For the first time, silence stretched beyond comfort, her breath catching slightly as she searched for the right response. The host remained still, allowing the weight of the moment to settle. Her composure didn't break, but it shifted. Her stillness grew heavier, her breathing shallower, her gaze briefly searching for something steady. When she finally spoke, her words were quieter, less polished, and far more human. She didn't offer a clear denial or confirmation. Instead, she acknowledged the complexity of living under constant judgment, of being perceived as a symbol rather than a person. She spoke about the strain of navigating a world where every action is analyzed and every silence questioned, where maintaining balance becomes an act of survival. The moment lingered long after the broadcast ended, replayed, and dissected across media platforms. It resonated not because of any definitive answer, but because of what was revealed in the silence, a glimpse of vulnerability shaped by years of scrutiny, leaving audiences to interpret a moment that refused to offer simple, comfortable conclusions.